Brand new music from George Michael to kick the program off.
One day you say you love me, the next you tell me you don't. One day you say you will, but the next you tell me you won't. Hey little baby, there ain't much point me hanging around, yeah. One day you make me feel that your love is in my hands. One day you say you'll stay, but the next you're changing your plans. Hey little baby, ain't much point in hanging around.
All right, everybody, get ready to check in. We're going to start the show in just a minute.
It's kind of funny that to think that I'm the boy to make you cry. I can make you happy, if only for a while, little baby. Oh, little baby, I can give you all the loving that your heart desires. If you ain't got time for me, I'll find another fantasy. I said it could be the price of love. Could be the price of hate. What am I guilty of? Why do you make me wait so long? I don't know your intentions. Look to the skies above. I'm in the hands of fate. Push till I get to shove. I've got to know for heaven's sake. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love?
Yeah, we're going to get started in just a couple of seconds here. Today, they just released a brand new George Michael song. Actually, it's a remix. Check in. Who are you? Well, hello, my brother from another mother. How you doing, my sister from another mister? It is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. I was always a big George Michael fan. And as a matter of fact, George Michael said that I did the best George Michael impression he ever heard singing. I'm not going to do it tonight. But anyway, today they just released this song. It's a song called Fantasy. 9 months after his passing, and it's pretty good. You can find it online. So anyway, how are you? Welcome to the program. A little bit different of an intro, but wanted to acknowledge George Michael, and it's some people liked him, some people didn't. I did, and you know what? You don't want to see anybody pass away that way. Okay, let's do a check-in here, and we got a lot to talk about. Latest on Hurricane Irma, we're going to get into Senator Kid Rock. That's what I want to call him. He's going to be a senator. He is giving speeches now where he's out there kind of going for it. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And there's a new Democrat who's in big, big trouble and more criminals in the Democrat Party. We'll get to that. Before we get started, and we check in with everybody like Adrian's in Benton, Arkansas, and Reese is there, and Glenn is there in Texarkana, Texas, and Patricia's in Holiday, Florida. Everybody check in if you would, please. Before we do, I would like to let you know today's show is powered by Right Wing News on Facebook and rightwingnews.com. Also, our great friends at Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream does what it says it's going to do. If you've got pain, whether it's arthritis pain or back pain, guess what? You just rub this stuff. It's real medicine. You rub it right on where it hurts, and lickety-split, that pain goes away. And it doesn't smell, and it doesn't burn, and it's not greasy, and it absolutely works. Now, take my word for it. Go out and buy it. Get it at your nearest Walmart, Walgreens, or other great retailer. And if it doesn't work for you, which I would be very, very surprised, if it didn't work for you, well, guess what? It has an empty jar guarantee. You can return it and use everything in that jar, return it for a full refund, but you're not going to return it because it works. So go and get your Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream if you would, please. All right, let's get the latest on Hurricane Irma. Some video that is out there Well, first of all, here's the latest map of what's going on out there. It does not look pretty. They're saying that, I mean, again, if this map is correct, it looks like it's going to go straight up the middle of Florida. And, the way they're talking is going to wipe the whole thing out. I hope not. And oftentimes they exaggerate these things, and I'm hoping that this is one of those times. I'm not going to say don't evacuate. I'm not going to say don't prepare. I'm not going to say that, hey, this isn't a severe storm. I will say that there are times that they exaggerate these things. And let's just hope that that this is one of those times. Now, there's some pictures that have been released showing how bad this devastation is, and it's not good. BuzzFeed put this up a little while ago. These are just pictures of places it's already hit. This is in Puerto Rico here. Another one. This is in on the St. Martin. Look at that. Always wanted to go to St. Martin. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it. Look at this wrought iron gate just destroyed. These trees. Oh, my goodness. Look at the cars. Where's this? This is also St. Martin. Look at these cars. Oh, my gosh. I've got something about that size. And, I mean, they're just thrown around. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Margot, St. Martin. This was on Wednesday. This is yesterday. Holy moly. Aileen says, my friends in South Florida showed me a picture of freeway of I-75 north, bumper to bumper. I've heard that, too. Oh, my gosh. There's a hotel in St. Martin. Just debris everywhere. It's just heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Yeah, those palm trees don't blow over like that very easily. Look at that. This is in Puerto Rico here. Devastating pictures. Whoever shot them, they did a great job. They look beautiful. But, oh, look at the poor dogs. Ugh. They're saying no sound. I got sound. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just have to hit restart, and it will work for you. Let's see. Let me check you out here. Showing how bad. There we go. I can see. So you sometimes just have to hit restart. Curtin says when there's a nasty hurricane, just when the video can take out the server. Yeah. Anyway, there's just more and more pictures like this. Just absolute devastation. People are saying that I froze. If you're watching the video, just refresh your video. I'm still on the air.
Hey, little baby, ain't much point in hanging around, yeah. 'Cause if you ain't got time for me, I'll find another fantasy.
All right, we're back. We're back.
It's kind of funny that you think
Yes.
that I'm the boy to make you cry.
I can make you happy.
If only
Okay.
for a while, little baby.
Thank you, George Michael, for your latest song. We're back. Picture's fuzzy. Sorry, I'm up in Idaho. Kurt, hello. Let's check in. PK is there. Aileen's in Kentucky. Renee's there. Florida is where Mario is. Patricia's there. Yes, but fuzzy. I'm back on live. Christine says, yepper, I got you. Danielle says, yes, I'm back. I'm back. Yay. Yay. Thank you very much. Okay. So we were just looking at pictures of what was happening with Hurricane Irma. I'll show you a couple more. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. This is an aerial photograph taken and released by the Dutch Department of Defense on Wednesday, showing the damage of Hurricane Irma on the Dutch Caribbean island of St. Martin. Look at that. If you're listening to the podcast, it is railway cars just scattered. It looks like a kid's train set and the kid had a temper tantrum and just threw everything around. That's what it looks like to me. Oh my gosh. Here's another one. Again, this is St. Martin. And look at these people. This boat looks like Gilligan's boat. The USS Minnow, and it's on its ground. Looks like it's in bad shape. Yeah, Glenn says those trains were containers. Yes, they were containers. Look at this car. These cars. How does it do that? Again, if you're listening to the podcast, you've got a couple of small cars, and they're just flipped. Again, it looks like a kid is having a temper tantrum and just tossing stuff around. Oh, man. It's just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. And, I don't want to sit here and do a whole show on the hurricane because, to be honest, I can't add to what Fox or CNN or even MSNBC can add other than, I'll actually say this, that I ask for your prayers. I'll also do something else that these guys won't do, and that is I'm going to tell you to go to a different website. Everybody's saying, oh, go to the Red Cross. The Red Cross is the best. Yeah, I don't think so. What I have found to be the best place to send my money if I ever want to donate. What the world? It's the Salvation Army. Okay. The Salvation Army is where I donate my money. And I know that the money goes to the right place. And I'm just typing in Salvation Army. A donation makes a difference. And Salvation Army says doing the most good, and you can go there and support Hurricane Harvey relief. I'm sure if you type in Salvation Army and Irma, that there'll be a place to go. But I have found that the Salvation Army is the best place. They do what they say they're going to do. The money goes to the place, to the right place. Peggy says Samaritan's Purse is good, or Convoy of Hope is good. Rebecca also says Samaritan's Purse is good. I can't speak for them because I've never worked with them, never done anything with them, but I can tell you that Salvation Army has been nothing but fantastic, and every time I've done anything with them, it's been nothing but great. Mary Beck says Samaritan's Purse versus Red Cross, Hearts for your donations. People actually get your donations from Samaritan's Purse. Dana thinks this is the end of days. Go read your Bible. Suzanne says, yes, the Salvation Army is terrific, and most of the money goes to the victims, not top salaries. All right, let's take a look at other things going on in the news today. Hey, here's something special. I've always hated these companies, these credit reporting companies, because there's always something wrong. Always. Always. And they never care. Well, Equifax says cyber attack may have hit 143 million customers. Now, let's put that in perspective, my friends. There's 300 million people in America. 300 million people in America. So approximately half of America, according to this story, was hit with a breach. Okay, Wayne says I have no audio. Well, guys, I'm just going to keep doing the show, and you just have to refresh your video. It's just the way it is, or wait until the podcast comes out in a few minutes. It will be out. If you're listening to the podcast, you can always find it at iTunes or Stitcher or iHeartRadio. It's called the Rusty Humphries Rebellion, and you can find the audio right there. Anyway, Equifax says cyber attack may have hit 143 million customers. Intruders accessed your name, social security number, birth date, address, driver's license numbers, credit card numbers for about 209,000 consumers were accessed. Company shares of Equifax dropped more than 8% in after-hours trading. Good. They deserve to be hit. And you don't deserve to be hit. They deserve to be taken down. I just can't stand these these credit reporting companies. I think they're trash. Let's go to a video that might get people excited. Kid Rock now, he's running for U.S. Well, he's thinking about running for U.S. Senate. I've not watched this speech. I've heard it's pretty good. I'm guessing if it's Kid Rock, you have to be careful about language. So if you have pure virgin ears, I'll apologize in advance. Dennis is checking in from beautiful Hawaii. Hello, aloha, Dennis. David's there. Henrietta, hi, how are you? Some more people say I'm frozen. Again, you just got to refresh the video. It happens. I can't control Facebook. All I can do is do the show and do it the best I can. And, I don't know how much of the internet is being affected by these hurricanes. It could be a lot. I don't know. Okay, let's play a little bit of Kid Rock's speech. And his thoughts about maybe running for United States Senate here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the next senator of the great state of Michigan, Kid motherfucking Rock.
Kid Rock! Rock on! If you're listening to the podcast, he's walking around stage. He's hamming it up. He's got two women.
That's all right.
And a flag on the stage and a podium. Make sure you share this video and podcast, would you?
Today? It seems the government wants to give everyone health insurance but wants us all to pay. And to be very frank, I really don't have a problem with that, since God has blessed me and made my pockets fat. But a redistribution of wealth seems more like their plan. And I don't believe that you should save, sacrifice, do things by the book, and then have to take care of some deadbeat milking the system lazy-ass motherfucking man. Now, the issue of struggling single parents is an issue close to my heart. But read my lips. We should not reward these women who can't even take care of themselves, but keep having kid after fucking kid.
Yeah, you probably can't be in the Senate and give speeches quite like that.
Of course we should help them out. I want to sit here and sound like a jerk. But let's help them out with child care, job training, and put their goddamn asses to work. And you deadbeat dads who refuse to be a man, who refuse to raise your sons up to be good men, you ghetto glorifiers and gangster wannabes, I say lock all you assholes up and throw away the fucking keys. And if you want to take a knee or sit during our Star-Spangled Banner, call me a racist because I'm not PC and think you have to remind me that Black Lives Matter. Nazis, fucking bigots, and now again the KKK says screw all you assholes, stay the fuck away. It's no secret we're divided and we all should take some blame. We should be ashamed that we all seem scared to call him by his name. So please, Almighty Jesus, if you're looking down tonight, please guide us with your wisdom and give us strength to fight the tyrant evils that lurk here and abroad, and remind us all we are still just one nation under God. Now let's get down to brass tacks before I hit you with this funk. Like it or not, Hillary Clinton lost, and your president is Donald motherfucking Trump. Kid Rock for Senate has got folks in disarray. Where they hear Kid Rock for President of the USA. Because wouldn't it be a sight to see President Kid Rock in Washington, D.C., standing on the Oval Office like a G, holding my dick ready to address the whole country? I'll look the nation dead in the eyes, live on TV, and simply tell them, you never met a motherfucker quite like.
Okay. So that is Kid Rock. And obviously there's some showbiz in that and some comedy, but there was also some pretty bad language in there. And there's a lot of people that may not like that. What do you think? Would you support Kid Rock to be in the United States Senate? Is that the kind of refreshing voice that we need? Or is that the kind of trailer trash, potty mouth that we just need to keep out of our kids and out of power? Would you please comment here right now on the Facebook page, or you can always email me, rusty@rustylive.com, rusty@rustylive.com. Elizabeth says that's just awful. Aileen says, tell him, Kid Rock. Pamela says, love it. Thomas says, heavy rock talking layman's terms. Mike says, Kid Rock for Congress, got my vote. Reese says, oops, he dropped the F-bomb. Rob says, I might move there just to vote for him. Judy says, if you don't like what he says, don't listen. He says the truth. Dennis says, gotta love Kid Rock. Rebecca says, no way, where are you from saying? Just awful. Ruthie says, yep, I would support him. If you've got some comments, again, there is a real possibility this guy might run. And there's a real possibility that he's going to need support from outside of the state of Michigan. To me, I like the refreshing aspects of it. I like somebody that's going to speak the truth to power. I'd like to cut back on the profanity. I mean, if you want to run for United States Senate, that's a pretty powerful office, and I don't think you need to do that kind of language. But other than that, the standing up, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, the deadbeat dad's message, let's get people to work, let's not just give them welfare. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in all of that. Brian says we need him in Florida. David says this is truth, and that's what we need. Angela says, yes, we need more people that speak the truth. Glenn says, I'd give him support. Maria says, oh my God, hell yeah, we need more real people. And his concerts are always cheaper so everyone can come. Is that right? I've never been to one of his concerts. Rhiannon says he's done great things for Michigan. Ruthie says if he runs, he'll win. Debbie says, why not Kid Rock? In the light of the way everything offends everybody or certain people these days, why not? Burton says it's better than Debbie. Aileen says he's been talking about it for a long time. Pamela says we need real in the White House. I support him, no BS. Well, he wouldn't be running for the White House. He'd be running for the Senate. But Terry says, well, yeah, like they don't swear behind the scenes. Oh, well, they do. You're right about that. C says he's just talking now to his group. He's not stupid. He could make it a political point if we the people run the government. Robert says speak the truth, even if it's not PC. Brian says tell it like it is. Don't hold back. Adrian says, I don't care if he cleans up his language or not. I would definitely vote for him. Danny says he's real, nothing fake like the others. Jerry says, I think he'll cool down. John Michael says, truth makes free. Rick says, wouldn't vote for him as my deacon, but I would for my senator. That's a great point, Rick. Ruthie says, take away all the freeloading. Pamela says, we need him in Washington. Leanne says, he says the truth. Charlie says, how do people talk in the real world? Well, they cuss. Kurt says, we need someone with class that can manipulate the old boys club without them realizing. If flat taxes, term limits would be a huge step in the right direction. Robert says, better than 99% of those deadbeats in Washington, D.C. Patrick says, it's the only way to drain the swamp, get rid of those politicians and put real people in office. Trish says, good message, bad language. Terry, truth to power. And Vincent says, an ugly truth is better than a pretty lie. And David says he's a patriotic man. He has my vote. Everybody, thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. I'll keep reading. If you would, please check in. Let us know where you're deplorable from if you haven't checked in yet. Have you shared the video? It's very important that we share this video. We share the podcast. We let people know what it is that we're talking about. We get the truth every day here, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West. My goal is to do nothing but kind of recap the news of the day and do it in a fun way, an interesting way, and a truthful way. I get no benefit or joy of spinning the truth or lying to people. I just hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it when they do it on the left. I can't stand it when they do it on the right. I just want to give you real information. Not all of it's serious. Some of it's fun. Hey, I played you a brand new George Michael song 9 months after the guy died. Doesn't mean it's serious news. It's just interesting. Now, here's something I think that is serious. Rand Paul, has a great idea. He has an idea, a blueprint to divert unspent foreign aid to cover hurricane relief and cleanup costs. It's an America First proposal. He wants to spend U.S. taxpayer money where it is needed. According to Constitution Ally website, Republican Paul, who has in the past targeted billions of tax dollars shipped to anti-American nations like Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, is eyeing an amendment to the proposed package to raise the debt ceiling and fund Hurricane Harvey relief. He says, as the Senate prepares to vote on hurricane aid, I will be introducing an America First Amendment to cut wasteful spending from abroad to pay for much-needed relief here at home. Moving forward, any new spending should be paid for. The funds would come from foreign aid not already spent, about $20 billion. Rand Paul's proposal would fund the estimated $10 billion of relief of Hurricane Harvey, potentially Hurricane Irma, and FEMA. It's conceivable that it could be expanded to include money to deal with incoming monster of Hurricane Irma scheduled to hit the Florida Keys this weekend. Terry wants to know why we're not talking about the hurricane in Florida. Well, we are. And this is part of it. I mean, at this point, we still don't know what's going to happen in Florida. We have the governor now who told people, get out of certain areas, and now he's saying don't get out. Right now, Florida is in flux. It is an absolute mess. Fear and panic is taking over. Rightfully so. I mean, I used to live there. I've got a lot of friends there. I'm very scared for my friends in Florida. But the problem is that at this point, we just don't know. If you're trying to get out of the state, the state is a parking lot. What's happening is that people didn't have enough gas in their tanks. They didn't know they were going to be sitting for hours on the freeway, and now they're stuck. And there's no place to move the cars off the side of the road, and it's just one big parking lot. A friend of mine was telling me that they had a next-door neighbor who left and evacuated and was gone all day long and then returned home tonight because they got what would have been an hour or two away. It took them 9 hours, and they just turned around, figured they'd just weather the storm at home. And we're all praying for them. We are. You know it's bad when Disney is thinking about closing doors. Mickey loves his money. Okay, Minnie, we got to get these parks open. Too many kids. We got to get that money. Anyway, it looks, though, like they may be closing down Disney World. And if you do that, you know it's really bad. Hurricane Irma would force Disney World to close. Hurricane Irma, which has already caused the cancellation of 3 Disney Dream cruises, is now sparking concerns that Disney World could be forced to close if the storm moves towards Central Florida. Since being opened nearly 50 years ago, Walt Disney World Resort has closed for only 4 times due to hurricanes. Most recently in 2016 due to Hurricane Matthew. But the Orlando Resort is preparing for the possibility of onslaught of Irma, which could affect the area within the next several days. Disney World has a policy in place regarding those who have vacations booked when a hurricane watch is issued by the National Hurricane Center for the Orlando area within 7 days of the traveler's scheduled arrival. Would-be visitors can reschedule or cancel their vacation packages and most room-only reservations without incurring a cancellation fee. The company noted, however, that the policy does not apply to certain special events or dining experiences. Disney World continuously staffed disaster relief center has been on alert with trained professionals and should be ready should Irma become an imminent threat. It's a big deal when Disney's gonna close down, and so people are keeping an eye on this, as they should. Darren says Disney and cruise lines in worry mode. That's when it's bad. Daniel says, Rusty, thank you for the laugh. Good Mickey impression. Thank you. Sorry. Kevin says, why aren't they using the other side of the freeway as well? Don't be sheep. Well, I don't know. I'm sure there is disaster relief organizations coming down to Florida from all over the country to help out. And you can't just drive the wrong way on a freeway just because it's busy. Now, maybe they could do a reversible lane thing. I'd love to see them do that, make it easier for people to get out, but I'm not there. Jason says, I have family in Sarasota, Florida. They can't leave. I just left there now. I feel bad. I left them there about this storm, praying. Herman says, we're praying. John Michael says, everybody should know how to hunt and fish. Terry says, I don't care about Disney. I care about the people I love. Well, Terry, there's a lot of people that, Disney is a good barometer to see how bad they really think this storm is going to be. And they do a pretty good job. It's actually one of the safest places in the area to be. If you could get into a Disney resort, it'd probably be pretty safe. They built those resorts with the hurricanes in mind. Aileen says, I have friends in South Florida who are also waiting, riding it out. Wish they would leave. Regina says, I love the break from politics. Thanks for the laugh. Daniel says, I have so many on my Facebook page that live in Florida. I'm so scared for them all. John Michael says, whether men and women are coming out of the woodwork, you know it's bad. Jason says, I hope they'll be okay. I'll pray for them also. I was in Hurricane Charlie. I actually went down. I was on a radio station in Orlando called WDBO. And I went to do a show with, it was me and Hannity and Neil Bortz and Clark Howard. Flew in from, I think I was living in Seattle at the time. Flew in from Seattle. They kept saying, oh yeah, we're not going to cancel the show. Come down, come down, come down. So we went. And was staying in a hotel, beautiful hotel. I don't remember the name of it. It was a beautiful hotel, though, in the middle of downtown Orlando. And when the hurricane hit, I do stupid things. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm an idiot. And I wanted to see what it would feel like to be in a hurricane. So I went downstairs, and I took my shirt off. Because, when you got a body like this, you got to show it off even in a hurricane, I just want to see what it would feel like to be in a hurricane. And I don't remember how strong Hurricane Charlie, what category it was. I guess I could look it up. All I remember was the rain. Rain flies, down normally. And I just remember it flying straight at me. And it hurt. I mean, it's just whap, whap. And it was weird. And fortunately, because we were in such... Sorry, I'm looking up Hurricane Charlie. August 9th, 2004. How big of a storm was it? It was... Okay, sorry. It's not telling me how... Okay, Category 4. Category 4. So that's pretty strong. Not as strong as the one that not as strong as Irma. But thank God I was in a hotel. And after the hotel was done, or after, we got out, we left because we didn't want to drive around. We did drive to Disney just to see what it was like, and they did close it down, as I recall. Trees were all over the place. It was just a mess. And it wasn't until I got home that I was able to see what most of the people who lived in Orlando was going through. And they were without power for, I want to say, at least a week, maybe more. And, when you're talking about Florida in August, it's hot and it's muggy and all of that water is around and it's a mess and you can't get ice. You go, ice? Why do you care about ice? Nothing to cool yourself down. You can't, there's no electricity, so you can't pump gas. Yeah, you got a generator, but what's that going to last? A day? Maybe two? It's a mess. And my dog is scratching, wanting to get in. Sorry, Wendy. I'll talk to you in a second. So if you're not in a hurricane, you've never been in one. It is miserable, and the tough part isn't even weathering the storm. It's the aftermath. That's the mess, and that's what I'm concerned about with Irma. Again, I'm no meteorologist. But this looks to me like this thing is going straight down the middle. I mean, if you were a golfer, you would want to be able to hit a ball that straight down the fairway. If you were a bowler, you'd want to have that hit that straight down the bowling alley. Hopefully it's going to turn. Wouldn't it be great if it turned off and just went in the ocean? But it doesn't look like it's going to do that. Eric says, my wife and I grew up in Florida. We have friends who are there now. We are worried about them. We are angry that they are stubborn. That is the other thing. A lot of people I know, I'm not going. I'm tough. I'm a badass. I'm going to sit through this. I don't know what to tell you. I remember my friend Neil Bortz. Remember Neil Bortz? He was a great talk show host. The talk master. He's retired. I remember him talking about, what was the hurricane that hit New Orleans? What was the name of that one? I'm blanking now. I should have forgotten that one. Anyway, so it was before that one hit New Orleans. And I had actually been on a cruise, and we actually went around that hurricane. It was on my birthday, August 29th. It's my birthday. And Katrina, thank you, Angela. Thank James, thank you. I don't know why I blanked, but Katrina, yeah. So we were on a cruise ship, and we went around the storm, and so we were okay. But I remember getting off the boat and listening to the radio, and Katrina had not hit land. And I remember Neil Bortz going, oh, these things never hit. It's always an exaggeration. Don't leave your house. They're a bunch of idiots. And I remember thinking, man, that's not very good advice. A great majority of the time, the meteorologists get it wrong, and the news media hype it up because it's good for business. But, man, you don't want to be in that one when they get it right. And obviously Katrina was one of those, and it looks like Irma is pretty bad too. Debbie says, Hugo, tornadoes were really bad. Now bracing for this. Not fun. Aileen says, don't forget Jose's also coming too. Hey, Jose, go away. Okay. What else do I got here? Anything else on tap? Oh. Do me a favor. Share this video. Share. Have you shared it? Have you liked it? Have you commented yet? Have you had any kind of interaction? It's very important that we do that. That's how Facebook gets these videos out more. They don't like the message. The social media giants don't like what we have to say. They're too in bed with the globalists. They are. It's okay. I understand. But the way we get around them is that you are active and that you share this and that people know that this is where they can see the truth. This is where they can go to hear what's real. And unless you interact and unless you share and unless you tell people about this, we will be tossed into the trash heap of a bunch of garbage that people don't pay attention to. And that's not good for anybody. Kaylin is checking in from Fowler, Colorado. Kaylin just shared, thank you. Vicky is in Arkansas. John Michael, thank you very much. So here's another thing. So the Ninth Circuit Court of Schlemiels have today rejected the Trump administration's limited view on who is allowed into the United States under the president's travel ban. Now, again, just the whole story and the headline is garbage. It wasn't a travel ban. It was, 6 months, 9 months to figure out what the hell was going on. It's been a mess. It was countries that Obama administration picked. I mean, just quit lying. Please quit lying. It has nothing to do with these people's religion. It has to do with people coming from countries that tend to want to do us harm. But let's get back to it. So, and this is, and the problem here is, and I'll get to the story in a second, the problem here is the same reason why the Dreamer Act is not good, the same reason why all of these Democrat programs never work, because it's never just for what they say. There's always got to be extenuating circumstances, and the extenuating circumstances always, not sometimes, not usually, they always screw America. And I'm tired of getting America screwed. So, the unanimous ruling from the 3 judges in the lousy San Francisco-based U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals cleared the way for refugees accepted to the resettlement plan to travel here. But it's not just the refugees. It's not just the people who applied. No. Grandparents, cousins, and similarly close relations of people in the United States should not be prevented from coming to the country. Well, golly jeepers, what could go wrong with cousin Ahmed, who's 22 years old, who's got a nice love for Al-Qaeda or ISIS coming into America? What could possibly go wrong? I think Abraham Lincoln said it. The Bill of Rights is not a suicide pact. And I believe rights of U.S. citizens should not be bestowed on people who are not U.S. citizens. There should be a benefit of being a citizen of the United States of America other than we get to pay taxes. That seems to be the only benefit now. We get to pay taxes. Now, illegal immigrants vote. Oh, no, they don't, Rusty. Don't friggin' lie to me. Of course they do. Of course they do. They don't want equal rights. They want special rights. Eric says, my stepmom was a legal Filipino when she came to this country. She got her green card. She applied for classes to become a citizen, completed the classes, took the citizen test and the oath. She is now a citizen. That was over 15 years ago. Good. Got no problem with that. I do have a problem with people who are coming from Islamic countries that tend to spread hate against America. And I think we should have the right, and not just the right, the responsibility to our posterity to vet these people even more. I've been to the Middle East. I've talked to terrorists. I've had guns placed in my back. I've had people threaten to cut off my head. I've been to Guantanamo Bay 3 times. I've been to the Palestinian areas. I've been to Iraq. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Kuwait. I've been to Sudan. I've been to Darfur. I've talked to these guys. One of the scariest places I've ever been to was the London Central Mosque. Let me promise you. And you can say, oh, it's the minority of Muslims. If you believe in Sharia law, and you cannot separate Sharia law from Islam, and people who say, well, I'm a Muslim and I don't believe in Sharia law, that's like saying you're a Christian but you don't believe in Jesus. Or saying, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe Jesus was the Son of God. You can't do that. You just can't separate a core tenet of the belief and just say, well, I'm just not going to believe in that. You just can't. Tell you a quick story. Told the story before, but it's important. In the 1950s, there was a guy named Qutb, Q-U-T-B. Qutb lived in Egypt, and he came to America, and what he saw horrified him. It horrified him. He saw women dancing with men in public. They had this rock and roll music. They wore what he called whore paint, makeup. These women wore makeup. They kissed. And he was appalled. And he stated, what Americans love most is freedom. Would you agree or disagree with Qutb? Americans love freedom above all else. Yes or no? Would you agree with that? I would agree with that statement. So Qutb said, Americans love freedom above all else. The word Islam means submission. And freedom and submission cannot coexist. One must destroy the other. And so Qutb, one of the great philosophers of Islamic terrorism, said that one philosophy must destroy the others. And he preached that Islam should do whatever it took, having more babies, moving to other countries, lying to the kafir, that's you and me, non-believers. It's also kind of like calling somebody the N-word, kafir. And they believe that they need to destroy Western civilization. I believe we are seeing that attempt happen right before our eyes. England, France, America, Belgium, the Netherlands, everywhere. And we're all just sitting around, the politicians just picking their noses. Doopy-doopy-doo. Golly jeepers, we can't figure out why there's a problem. It's not racist. I don't care what color they are. Wouldn't care if it was a bunch of white guys that came over wanting to do that. Has to be stopped. Western civilization must be saved. No, it's not a white thing. Western civilization has done more for mankind than all other civilizations. It brought freedom of choice, freedom of government. Heck, in many Muslim countries, slavery still exists. And instead of blaming America for the evils of slavery, all civilizations before had slavery. It was wrong. But what Western civilization did was we stopped slavery. Just give us a friggin' break. You want to look at slavery? I met slaves. Go to Darfur. Go to Sudan, South Sudan. You can meet guys that were slaves yesterday. They still have slavery in northern Sudan right now. Right now. It's northern Arabs. It's Arabs living in North Sudan, and they go and steal Christians who are black in South Sudan and enslave them. It's a fact. I've been there. I've seen it. I've talked to them. This is the truth. This is no lie. There's no spin. Listen, if I hadn't seen it, I'd go, yeah, I didn't see it. But I did. It exists. So we need to wake up, America. We do. Joseph says, tell your moderators to stop holding back truth. They're going to have to answer to God one day about it. I don't know what you mean, Joseph. Vote for Kelly Ward. Mike, yes, Kelly is a great person. I like her very much. She's a friend of mine. Talked about having her on the show, and we need to do that sometime soon. She lives right down the street from me. I'm in the Phoenix area myself. Let's see. Kaylin says, thank Hillary and her cartel. Oh. Martha says, when I grew up in Homestead, they had a building code and the houses survived many a hurricane. A roof here and there got damaged. My father built 5 homes and they're all still there. Went through Hurricane Andrew. All right. Will you do me a favor? We're going to close out the show in just a minute. If you'd please share this video, or if you're listening on a podcast, or if you'd go and check out the podcast. If you go subscribe to the podcast, and also if you would put a nice little comment on a podcast, I can't tell you how much that matters. It really, really does. And I would really, really appreciate it. The other thing is if you would support our sponsors. I'm not charging you for this. I'm not getting paid from Facebook or right-wing news. You know, I survive by taking care of people that do great products. And so if you would please support Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream. Again, it's available at Walmart, Walgreens, other great retailers. And it does what it says it's going to do. If you've got pain, you just rub it right where it hurts, and that pain will go away. Doesn't smell, doesn't burn, it's not greasy. And you try it out. If it doesn't work for you, don't worry. They got an empty jar guarantee and 100% money-back guarantee. Go check out Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Back Pain Relief Cream. Also, DerMend. You seasoned citizens, we got a product just for you. It is a moisturizing anti-itch lotion, targeted care to relieve your dry, itchy, mature skin. Steroid-free. It absolutely works, and it is available at the same Walmart, Walgreens, and other fantastic retailers. Now, product I use, and I wish I didn't have to, but I do because I have waxy ear buildup. And I'll tell you what, Wax RX saves me a trip to the doctor. It does. It is the same ear washer that is purchased by doctors and clinics, and you can do it at home. You get 3 uses in this stuff, and it works, and you will save money and time, and it just does the job like it's supposed to. If you like podcasts like the Rusty Humphries Rebellion, you'll love Blunt Force Truth. That is hosted by Chuck Woolery, the great talk show host, and just a great guy, very smart. And Mark Young. They do a great podcast, Blunt Force Truth. And Blunt Force Truth you can find at iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, other places where you find great podcasts. The same way a place where you can find the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. And if you would please go there and like those shows and listen to them, share them, tell people about them. Boy, I can't tell you how much I would really, 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 really appreciate it. And then my book is out there. It's practically being given away. It's called 7 Ways to Win Political Debates with Your Liberal Family and Friends and Still Keep Them as Family and Friends. Talking to a friend who read this book right before Labor Day, and it actually saved them some hassles. They actually won debates that they would not have won and got out of a bunch of problems at the family party had they not read this book. It's only available at Amazon. It's in paperback, it's in ebook, and in Audible. An audiobook, so you can check that out. That's it, my friend. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Rusty Humphries. Call the neighbors, wake the kids. This is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.